Hello everybody. Welcome back to the channel where we talk about stuff. You should probably guess where a lot of this is going. We are increasingly getting closer to the illustrious Bitcoin halving, as it's so well known. And it is going to cause a massive earthquake-like effect on the cryptocurrency market. If you are new here, hello, I see the new subs every single day. If you've been here before, hello. And also, if you've been here for like a couple of cycles, you remember what it's always like. Oh, also side note, I don't know if you can hear the fan. It's like a bajillion degrees here today, so if you can hear it, I can't really help you because it's hot. The other part is, what we're getting a lot of right now are, and I don't want to call them price predictions per se. It's more of a lot of people tend to have charts, and they look at the charts and they extrapolate and they widen them and go further, and they see where we were before, as this still is a relatively new market. Our market hasn't been around for decades. It's a decade and a half. So we only have like very little to go on. What we currently have to go on is that Bitcoin is scarce, the demand is high, and price go up. Part of the thing that ties all of this together is where we've seen Bitcoin gone before. If you watched some of the other videos, especially one maybe like 2 weeks or so ago, we had something from an analyst who was talking about where Bitcoin's price typically goes 3 months after the halving, 6 months after the halving, 9 months after the halving. If you've been paying attention or have been here for any of those videos, you'll know that price-wise, where we are right now, we are 9 months ahead of schedule. And there's something that has to be explained there. So people I've been seeing, and I'll give you the entire story, then I'll give you the story. It doesn't make any sense, but you'll get it. I've seen a lot of people online on Twitter, not analysts so much, but more the everyday common crypto investor, asking if prices are 9 months further than they should be, does that mean that the bull run or the bull market is going to end early? The speculation would make a lot of sense. If we are technically in January 2025, price-wise, normally 9 months typically is when we get to the previous all-time high, and then we continue going higher from there. What's the issue? Is the bull run that we're currently in going to end in summer? Is it going to end in October? Is it going to end in November? What a lot of people seem to be missing, and I'm really not sure because it's literally daily in the news. We in the cryptocurrency space have never experienced what's currently happening. We've known for years. It was me in the market, you in the market, your friend, that one cousin who you don't really talk to that much, but he messaged you, and now you guys are kind of talking about crypto every now and again. He got into the market. We knew that there were institutions in the space. We've seen them for a number of years. We've heard, we don't have to go over them, but the biggest one being MicroStrategy. As I mentioned before, there are tons of other companies in the space, but for some reason, the narrative usually tends to fall on just one or two companies. Focusing in on MicroStrategy, we know that it took them 2 years, 24 months and some change to be able to acquire over 200,000 Bitcoin. It's a lot of Bitcoin. They now hold, from the maximum that could ever be, more than 1% of all the Bitcoin in the world. It took them 2 years to do it. The issue in all of this is that we are now seeing that there are companies, and then I'll even drop the S, company, that have accumulated the same amount of Bitcoin as MicroStrategy over the course of a 7 to 8 week period. For those of you who don't get supply and demand, that's supply and demand. The demand was already quite high. The supply is already quite low. What is available on crypto exchanges is not really all liquid. It's not for everyone. There are people who are holding their coins on these exchanges. Cool. We collectively, as the 50 to 100 million people in the cryptocurrency space, we're already buying more daily than was actually being produced by people who are mining Bitcoin. If you missed that video, we found out that actual banks are now, major banks are now going to people who are mining Bitcoin to try and buy the Bitcoin off of them. The problem is the people who are mining it, they want that Bitcoin for themselves. That's why they're mining it. So when there's 900 currently Bitcoin being created per day, these people are not selling off 900 Bitcoin back onto the market. That would be nonsense. You don't spend $100 million to make a gigantic mining behemoth monster. I don't know what word I'm looking for. And then simply you make the Bitcoin and sell it back off into the market to go back into fiat, into the US dollar, which is constantly devaluing itself. It doesn't make any sense. There are fragments that get resold back into the market of Bitcoin, and it's to keep the lights on. It's to pay their electricity bill. We've gone over this before. When you have a situation where banks are now going directly to the source of where Bitcoin is being created, and they're being told, no, we have no Bitcoin for you. This is the supply shock. We normally don't see a mad rush into the market of people until Bitcoin has hit some kind of psychological level. This current one is going to be $100,000 and plus the halving. It's always when people begin to rush into the market because Bitcoin reaches some kind of level that is then unobtainable to them, and they realize they could have obtained it before, and they kind of, rushed quickly into the market. You get the generalized idea. The reason why, crazy right here, the reason why prices are so high is because people are buying Bitcoin. Revelation, right? Absolutely insane. So when we see that there is normally buying pressure, and as there has been all the time, you may see Bitcoin's price go down with the buy. We get this news every single day. I've been making videos every single day. The buying pressure is still there even as prices go down. Whales are still buying. The issue is that whales are sometimes buying 40 Bitcoin, 80 Bitcoin, 1,200 Bitcoin over the course of 2 or 3 weeks, etc., etc. This massive buying spree that we're seeing is in anticipation of the halving and the shortager, not a word, that there's going to be after the halving. It is literal supply and demand. This is why the price is going up. We are early in our movements, but the bull run is still going to rage for a year and some change, as it always has. It's just the way that the market cycles have been. Where we currently are, and I like to call it a pattern that's patterning itself. We're seeing a lot of analysts now coming forward talking about where they believe Bitcoin's price is going to go. And everyone's number continues to move up and be more intense than it previously was before. So at the beginning of this year, before we had the Bitcoin ETFs, I think Cathie Wood and a bunch of other people said that they believe that by the end of this year, you know the number, they said by December, they're expecting a $50,000 Bitcoin and potentially a $150,000 Bitcoin by summer 2025. That then changed once we got the ETFs, and that number then moved up to 70,000. Yeah, remember that? They said by December, we're expecting $70,000. Let's see what ends up happening. The problem is we got there in 4.5, 5 weeks because the news every single day was like, BlackRock bought another 800 million Bitcoin. It was just constantly, of course, other people are going to begin buying. Cathie Wood, and I mean, when I say Cathie Wood, I mean 12 other people. I don't remember all their names. All nearly in unison said, okay, well, clearly we're going to hit 100K by the end of this year. Cathie Wood and the slew of people were recently just all in the news, and they all kind of said the exact same thing again. Their new target was $150,000 by the end of this year. Part of the issue is that when you get the news that we've been getting, that even during the downturn in prices, which was basically just whales trying to flush you and your family out of the market so that they could buy up all of your coins, when we hear that they're still buying, that even during the downturn in prices, there was still over $100 million daily in inflows of money going into the ETFs. That's a lot of Bitcoin that these companies are still buying. When we get the news that banks, so there's more than one bank on the planet, there's a lot of them, are going directly to the people who are mining Bitcoin and they're being told no, that's the supply crunch. So what's going to end up happening is that when we have the halving at the time of me making this video in the next couple of days, the market's going to completely lose its mind because there's literally not enough Bitcoin left. Time is a fantastic thing. You want to know why? Because as I said before in another video, you can literally go back through my videos and see me saying this over the course of the last couple of years. And I remember towards the very beginning of me making these videos, I see the comments. People were being like, Stop being so dramatic. Like there's tons of Bitcoin left. And then when you like really look at it and you see where we are now in price and where we were before as I started making those videos, it's just very, I can't find the word. It's nice. It's nice to see that I wasn't completely insane and that all the news that we were getting every single day over the course of the last 2 years was correct. Weird, right? How insane that all this time that we keep getting news every single freaking day that all this Bitcoin's being accumulated. And what? The price went up? Well, that's weird. I guess maybe buying billions of dollars worth of Bitcoin in a 5-week period is going to do something to the price, nonetheless, from where we were exactly a year ago. There's someone on Twitter. His name is TechDev, TechDev. Recently said the same exact thing as many other people in the cryptocurrency space based off of all of this news, based off of the accumulation, based off of the halving, based off of the anticipazione. I don't know if that's how you say it, but it sounds correct. Of retail investors jumping into the market. He's expecting, here we go now. After the halving, he's expecting Bitcoin's price to go to $150,000 in 3 months. Can anyone tell me why this even sounds realistic? If you've never been here for a halving before and you weren't here for that other video, one of the craziest parts is that usually when the halving happens, people sell their Bitcoin. There's always a sell the news kind of thing, and I don't know if these people understand reality or not, because almost instantaneously the price of Bitcoin ends up going back up. It's the same. Every other coin has this thing. No matter what upgrade, no matter what halving, there's always like a hype period. Price goes up, the halving happens, people sell up their coins, and then they expect to be able to like time the market to buy back in and be really cool. And it's like, no, that's not how this works. So 3 months, for those of once again who you missed the other video. 3 months to 6 months after Bitcoin has halved, as we've seen before in the past, Bitcoin tends to go up anywhere from 30 to 80% from a 3 to 6 month period. They've all ranged in different times and depending on the news that we have in the world, yada, yada, yada. We have never experienced what we're experiencing now. We have never gone through this kind of crunch. We have never had a situation where, don't forget, BlackRock alone, if they continue with this amount of accumulation, they will have over 1 million Bitcoin by the end of summer. That's why prices are where they are right now. And keeping in mind, as I've said before in other videos, a lot of people focus on the narrative of BlackRock buying. BlackRock's not the only one buying. We know for a fact that there are millionaires and billionaires around the world who are also gobbling up as much Bitcoin as they can. A $150,000 Bitcoin in 3 months sounds completely realistic to me. And I mean completely, because when we pass by 100K, the market's going to lose its mind. Because this will click for a lot of people. It's the same exact thing when Bitcoin hit 10,000, when it hit 20,000, when XRP hit $1. It's something psychologically that for some reason, people on the sidelines end up going, I should have been buying the entire time. Because the same thing will happen at 250K. It'll happen at $500,000. It'll happen at $1 million. And say this nicely. I feel bad already for the people who have to buy in at $1 million because they were so adamant on not listening and paying attention to the news. I don't know what that is for certain people, but alas. Yeah, he said this, and it made so much sense to me. The issue lies in the fact that if we go to $150,000 per Bitcoin within 3 months after the halving, that's April, May, June, let's say June, July, somewhere around there, depending on how you're counting the 3 months, that would mean we'd probably hit a $200,000 Bitcoin by the end of the year. We can all agree on that, right? That's how, that's normally what would happen. And that's still before we've even gotten to 2025. And then the other thing is the altcoins. Altcoins tend to, so if Bitcoin over a 3 to 6 month period after the halving historically has gone up by 30 to 80%, when Bitcoin goes up by 4%, altcoins tend to go up by 9, 15% at the same exact time. Bitcoin goes up by 30, some of these coins are going to double and triple in value. If Bitcoin goes up by 80%, some of these coins are going to 5, 6, 7x in value during the same exact time over the course of the rest of this year. And that's kind of where I am sitting right now as far as a what's about to happen kind of moment. I noticed that if prices drop even a smidge, there's like a really weird, like, light first world depression that ends up going on Twitter where people are like, well, guess we just gotta wait for prices to go back up. And it's like, no, something really crazy is happening right here. As I've said before, I've waited for this halving for a very long time. I can't put it into words. If you've been watching the earlier videos on the other channel, The Modern Investor, we've been talking about, for some reason, 2024 has been like the halving that we've all been waiting for. It's meant to be the craziest one. I mean, also 2028 and 2032 as like the going over $1 million per Bitcoin kind of thing. But yeah, it is almost here. Something we've all been waiting for a while. And I can say this confidently. I don't think anyone's actually ready. All the discussions I have with my friends, I mean, it's nonstop. It's like literally every single day. We have expectations as to where things are going to go. Potentially the amount of money that we might make if we hit, and I mean conservative numbers, like nothing insane. But I don't think we're ready for where this market's going to go just based off of all the news that we've been getting and all the accumulation that we've been seeing. And the halving is going to cause a massive shock to the markets. This will get us to 100K. And then, listen, if in 3 months we're at 150K, we're going to be talking about it. I bet you that much. But yeah, it feels crazy. Like I can feel the electricity in the air, if that makes any sense. Yeah. As always, the article will be in the description below for those of you who wish to read it. I do sincerely hope that you have all enjoyed. I do hope you all are having a great day, morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are, wherever you might be. I do hope it's absolutely fantastic. Thank you all once again for watching, listening, liking, I smacked my face into it, liking, commenting, and supporting. And I will most certainly be talking to you all soon. See you.